Today, as I try to show you what we do at Precision Debt Advisory, we will be dealing with a case of a guy on Reddit who had posted some few days ago. This guy has 25k in credit card debt, and he have been troubled by it, and he feels stuck. And he feels like he have been living paycheck to paycheck. So we tried and analyzed his position, and let's see what we got. Okay, this and his case. Today we'll be dealing with a case of a guy on Reddit who had posted some few days ago. This guy has 25k in credit card debt, and this is his post. Hi there, I'm not the best with credit cards and debt stuff, and I don't fully get the percentages, APRs, things like that. So I'm hoping someone can explain to me in an easy way for me to get. I've taken these questions to friends, family, internet, and ChatGPT, but would like some options from others in the same situation or advice on what worked for them. I have about 25k in credit card currently, about 19,500 on one card. This has the highest minimum payment, around 380 a month. Around 3k on another with a minimum payment of $110. And then I have a third card which I used for a balance transfer around 15 months ago. This card has about 2k left on it to pay off. I don't use this card at all and only makes payment on the balance anyway, from 100 to 150 a month. I pay a little more the minimum on each card, so around 700 month total in payments. I work 2 jobs, about 50 hours a week. My income is around 4k to 4400 a month, depending on tips and hours from my second job. My rent is $18.95 a month plus other life expenses. I live in California, so everything is higher. I make all my payments on time, but I just never seem to be getting anywhere. And now, here's the real problem, which I am aware of. I still use my 2 main cards, but honestly, I can't not. Things come up that are so expensive, and I'm damn near living paycheck to paycheck as is. So, when I have to pay for things, sometimes it's either take a huge chunk from by checking or savings, or use the card. I'm gonna really try to restrict myself this year, but I need some help or ideas or advice, something. I've looked into credit card, debt card relief programs, balances transfer, consolidation loans, and feelings bankruptcy. All have pros and cons, and I have seen both good and bad from people online. But I'm just wondering if anyone has had a similar experience to mine, and what options they choose. If the 25k really does seem manageable eventually, and I should just buckle down and try to pay that off, or if I should go a different route. I'd love to hear some opinions. Thanks in advance. That's the case scenario, and we did a quick data analysis to see his position. First things first, we did a debt intake in this particular sheet, and these are his debt items. Credit card 1, revolving. It's the loan type is revolving because it's a credit card. The balance is 19,500 as we have read. Okay. The first things at Precision Debt Advisory is to give a priority score on your debt. That's what our systems do. When you enter your debt items, the interest rate, the loans it will take you to clear your debt and the monthly repayment, our system create a priority score automatically. The priority score will show you which amount of debt you are supposed to attack first. So the total amount of debt is 24,500. The weighted average interest rate is 24.84%. There we go. So the next thing we do is to map your cash flows and income. And by mapping them is by entering all your sources of income and your expenses. Just out which is the best strategy for. And if you are capable of making a extra payment, or you should first work on your income. That's the first thing we do before we start analyzing your debt or telling you what you should do. And next thing, or the third process, we debt stress your position. And by that, we want to see the amount of risk you are facing depending on your income inflows and your debt size, to see where you are or where you stand. And by that, we use various metrics. We have metric number 1, debt to income ratio. For this particular case, it's at 14.5%, which is quite healthy. If the required value or status is below 36, it should be 36% or below. If it's above, you are in a very bad position. But for low, 14.5%. Another metric we use is the debt load ratio. This is the number of years or full income it will take to clear all your debt. So that means that if this particular guy takes the $4,400 he earns each month and direct the whole amount to debt, it will take him like 2 years. In this position, it's quite low, and it's recommended that it should be below 3 times or 3 years. And for this position, it's quite good. Another metric that we use is high interest debt exposure. For this particular case, it's at a high debts. All the debts are above 20%. And here we go. This is the percentage of debt at rates above 20% per annum. And from our debt portfolio, we can see all the interest rates are above, or they earn interest above 20%. So that's quite bad. Area burden, this guy have not defaulted on a single particular debt, so it's at 0%, and that's quite good. That's good progress. Okay, the overall risk classification for this case, it's stable. It's not good and it's not bad. So the next thing we do while dealing with the next process we undertake is the strategy design. And our strategy design by first ranking our debts in order of priority. And that's what we have actually done. And as we said, from our priority score, we don't rank our debt randomly. We use this particular priority score that we have calculated with our systems. So on this case, our first debt is credit card 3, which has an interest rate or APR of 28%, and its debt priority score stands at 11.2. That's what we'll be attacking first, while we pay minimum on the other debts. Okay, now the recommended strategy is debt avalanche, which is interest driven, and as we said, the debt we are attacking first is credit card 3. Now let's go straight to our strategy. Okay, we choose an avalanche model. That's what we used for this case, to try and help this guy and see how long it will take him to clear this particular debt. Okay, this is the data items that we had mapped. Okay, these are the inputs. So this is whatever we had seen on the other document. This is the monthly gross income. We had said it's 40 expenses. We have the extra monthly payment. Okay, and from there we run an amortization schedule. So because we are using an avalanche strategy, and by avalanche we mean we are using we are cascading payment rollover. By that, what we mean, we attack the first date, we will put the minimum payment, that is the 150 minimum payment, and then we add an extra payment, and we run that date until it gets to 0. When it gets to 0, we pick this minimum payment and the extra payment, and we direct it to paying priority date number 2. That process goes in circles until we clear the last date item. And from there, we have the monthly or the amortization schedule itself, a lot of numbers right here. And this is what does. We just deal with numbers. We don't give opinions that are based on words or empty promises. We let the numbers talk, and that's exactly what we did here. We have credit card 3, and we will be paying 150. That is if we will not have we will not in a position to add an extra payment. And that's it. That's how we do it. Okay, now on our summary sheet, we don't have any extra. We have not input any extra payment at this point, but we will, just to see the magic happening. So, and from there we have this particular summary. Total debt at start, it's at 24,500. Total payments made, it's 52,000. This is including the debt and the interest paid, which is 27. When you continue paying the minimums, you will pay a total interest on all debt of $27,757, and the principal, that's it. The principal plus the interest payment, that's what making the total payment to be 52,000. When you continue paying minimum payment or making minimum payments, it will take you 92 months to clear this particular debt, all of them, all the debts, and that will the pay of date will be February 2023. Now, from there, let us see the magic happening. And the magic happens when we enter the extra monthly payment. And from our case, this guy had said that he adds $60 extra while making monthly payments, and makes around 700 in total. So, and his total monthly payment is 640. So he has an extra of 60. So if you continue pay 60, if you continue making extra $60 extra payment, let's see the magic on the summary dashboard. When he makes an extra payment of 60 to make them 700, because he have been making 640 normally while making minimum payments. If he adds extra $60, let's see what happens. Okay, his month on all the time it will take him to clear the debt, it's now 70 months. It's no longer 90 like we had seen. It's now 70, and the interest reduces to 20 60,000 from 24. I think it was 24 on the other case. And you can see the total payments made have also reduced by almost 10. It was around 54 by 10,000. You can see the amount of the good roadmap. Now let's take another scenario. We assume that this particular guy has a lot of cash in excess, and by that we mean by having extra cash, we mean his saving rate right here that we have calculated at 42.4. That saving rate means we take his monthly income, we deduct all the expenses and all the debt repayment, and the amount that he will be remaining with, or the net disposable income, it's 1865. But then we will have to deduct some amount because of the approximations that we have made. So the amount available for him that he can save, it's around $1492. So he have a lot of free cash flow. So in that case, if we assume this particular guy, instead of making $60 as extra monthly payment, he adds some amount because he is capable and does 200, and he does 200 extra. Let's see what happens on our debt summary. When he adds that amount to making 200 extra dollars, see some magic. See the magic. The total payment made significantly reduces to 37,000, and the interest or the cost of this debt reduces to 13,000, and the time to clear this debt reduces from 70 to 46. Now his new debt-free date, it's around April 2030. You can see what we do at Precision Debt Advisory. The numbers talk. We let the numbers talk. We stress test your position to make sure that we come up with the best roadmap for you to follow, or the best process, or how you will deal with your debt. So this is what we recommended. From our recommendations, we recommended that now that this particular person has free cash flows, instead of paying 60 extra, of making $6 extra monthly payment, he should add some more and try and make it to 100, and by that he will have saved around $30,000 and shortened his debt clearance timeline from 70 to 46. And that's where the magic is. So that's that particular case, and that's for today.